you guys? It's Steph with Beautifully Changed, and I am hoping you are having a phenomenal day. And if not, that's okay also. Just work through whatever's going on and remember you're in charge of your mindset. Today, I thought would be a perfect day to talk about friendship. So, for my birthday, one of my closest, dearest friends decided to come and surprise me here in good old Oklahoma to visit for a couple of days. And she worked with Keone behind the scenes to surprise me, and it was absolutely lovely. I was completely surprised. It brought tears to my eyes, and I felt really honored and special that she would come. I mean, she could go anywhere, and she wanted to come and spend time with me for my birthday. And we had a fantastic couple of days exploring Oklahoma City and just spending time together, laughing, talking about life, talking about the easy stuff, the difficult stuff, all the good stuff, and challenged each other through some like yoga moves, and it was just an all-around delightful time. And this makes me just want to share some thoughts about friendship. I very much feel that life is about relationships and connection, and that relationships really provide something to us that really we can't find anywhere else. However, not every friendship or relationship is created equal. And sometimes that can be really confusing, that we'll have friends that are there for us for the good times, but maybe not there for the bad times. And then we also have friends that are there for the bad times and the good times. I've even noticed that I will even, in a sense, I guess for the lack of a better word, categorize some of my friends. Like I know I have some friends that if I want to go out dancing and have a phenomenal time, I know who to call. And they'll never disappoint. We'll go out and we're going to have a blast, and we're going to support each other and just cheer each other on. And there won't be any subtle criticisms or anything about each other. We're just going out and we're going to have a great time. And we encourage each other to look our best, and we compliment, and we just go and we have fun. However, they may not be the friend that I'm going to call if I'm really sad and I want someone to lean on. And that's okay, because sometimes friends just don't know what to say. And I've learned this with some of my friends, that some friends, they don't mean harm. They just don't know what to say, so they say nothing. And they still love me. And I just know that that's not the friend I go to if I need encouraging words back to me. I guess I kind of like to, when it comes to my friendships, I've learned throughout the years to kind of explore my friends in a sense, and I watch their patterns, and I really truly believe that people will always show you who they are, and that it's up to us to believe them. And we find out who people are, not just by the things that they say or the things that they do, but the patterns that they have shown us throughout life in our relationship with them. One of the things that I think and often will share with people is that when it comes to, like, let's say there's a negative behavior with somebody, or you find it negative, or it's displeasing to you. And if it happens once, maybe it's a bad day, right? If it happens a second time, could be another bad day. But if it happens a third time, that's a pattern, and that's most likely a piece of who they are, how they handle situations, or how they move through life. And then it's up to you to decide, is that friendship hurting you more than it's providing good things? And then you can kind of decide what you want to do with that. And for myself, if there's been a friend whose behavior or actions, the pattern in our friendship was more damaging than it was uplifting, I've let those friends go. I often pay attention to how I feel after spending time with somebody. And if I'm feeling kind of or down or confused or doubting myself, not feeling as good about myself, then that's really powerful information. And then there's also friends who, after I'm done spending time with them, I feel on fire. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just feel so uplifted. I'm smiling. I feel just amazing. And those are the people who I definitely want to invest more of my time with. It also comes to friendship, and I think I've mentioned this in a past podcast, is that the 5 people we spend the most time with are the people that we'll start to resemble. And with that in mind, I really take that seriously now. And I want to make sure that the people that I'm spending my time with are uplifting, that do just build me and others up, because that's the type of person I want to be. And so if I'm with somebody who is slightly or even very subtly tearing me down or others around, then I decide I'm going to start putting a little distance there. But that's the way I do it. Doesn't mean that's the way you have to do it. Just find what works for you. I would really encourage the 5 people that you are spending the most time. Make sure they align with what kind of life you're wanting to create and who is your best self. And then that means sometimes we outgrow our friendships. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything negative. It just means that you're not in the same place as you used to be. And that's where it kind of comes into my mind, like that. I don't know if you guys have heard that poem, A Reason, a Season, a Lifetime. It's a pretty great poem, and the gist of it is that people will come into your life, and sometimes it's only for a reason. And once that reason has been filled, something will happen that will disrupt that friendship, and you'll drift away. Or maybe it's for a season. They came in, it was a great joy, it was real, it was amazing, and then just like the seasons turn, that friendship also will change and won't necessarily stay in your life. They'll continue on and you'll continue on. And then you have the lifetime relationships that you learn something from them and it affects the rest of your life, or perhaps they'll be in your life in some way for the rest of your life. And that's not everybody. There's definitely people who will only be in your life for a limited amount of time. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't genuine, that it wasn't real. It just wasn't meant to last forever. And so appreciating what you did get from that friendship and feeling the gratitude in that. And I think most of us can relate to that. When I think about childhood friendships, there's only one person that I'm still talk to frequently, and we make time to see each other. However, we were best friends in like 4th and 5th grade, and now she's still somebody that I just love and cherish. However, we don't have the connection that we once did, and I'm okay with that. She's okay with that. I know at the end of the day that she's still somebody who matters in my life. We're just in different places in our life right now, and that's a beautiful thing. And we have different interests and different hobbies, and she pursues those and I pursue mine. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of love there. And then I have other friends that I was really close with in like high school or college that I don't even really talk to anymore because life's just drifted. And instead of spending my time feeling sad about that, I spend my time feeling very grateful that I had that person in my life and that they've left me with these little nuggets of wisdom and memories of joy that I get to bring with me. So I guess I'm telling all of this because if you do have a friendship that is shifting, know that it's okay and that it doesn't mean something's wrong with you or something's wrong with them. It's just part of what life does as we grow and kind of shift into who we are, into our best self. That kind of reflects out. Our environment changes as we enhance our lives. I also think with friendships, be the friend that you want. As I talked about in relationships, if you want the best relationship you've ever had, you have to be the best partner you've ever been. That also goes with friends. If you want to have really good friends, be a really good friend. Be the kind of friend you would want. We often, again, we teach people how to treat us. And so think about that with your friends as well. Be the friend you want. And if your friends aren't matching up and you're feeling not uplifted at the end of that time with them, then it's time to make a decision. What will you do? Will you distance yourself from that friend? Will you categorize that friend and know that that friend is a really great workout buddy, or that friend is really good to go to for deep conversations, or this friend is really good for having fun? This is a really good family friend. Not one person can meet every need or expectation that we have. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about having multiple friendships in our life. And I think it's also really important that we spend time nourishing that friendship, and that we make sure to spend time with them, to connect with them, especially when we're in a relationship. Friendships can also get put on the back burner, and that never feels good. If you're close friends with somebody and they get into a relationship, and then it almost seems like they forget you exist until they break up with that person, and then all of a sudden they want things to go back to normal. So if you are somebody who values your friends, make sure they know that. That should never be a question in your relationship. If you value people, always let them know. Pour the love on, the kindness on, the gratitude on. I believe relationships are meant to challenge us and help us enhance ourselves. And that doesn't mean we always agree with each other. I think that's another great thing about some friendships, is that we can be ourselves in them, hopefully. And that means if you are being yourself, you're not always going to agree with your friend. And that's okay. You don't have to. It's how do you work through that disagreement that is going to either strengthen or weaken your friendship. I know back when I used to be a really passive person, I felt if anyone ever got mad at me, then that was the end of our friendship. And so I worked really hard to make sure nobody ever got mad at me. But then I wasn't being true to myself. I wasn't saying what I really thought, or my beliefs, or the knowledge that I've learned, because I didn't want anyone to get mad at me. But then I also didn't feel like uplifted in that friendship because I wasn't being true to myself. And that wasn't fair to my friend either, because I wasn't showing them who I really was. And so those friendships didn't last, which makes sense. How could they? So I encourage you with your friendships to be who you are. And those that are meant to be lifetime friends will embrace you and be excited for who you are and really value what you bring to the table. Friendships are this beautiful give and take roles where sometimes we're receiving and sometimes we're giving. And if you find yourself in a friendship that feels as if you are the only one giving, again, just take some time and reflect on that friendship and see what you can do to shift it before you completely decide to end it. Because sometimes we need to ask for what we need from our friends, and that's okay to do that. That's a part of who you are, and we can ask in different ways. And sometimes it's important to even say, for instance, I have a friend who wants to go on this hike, and I thought I would love to go on it with her, but I've never been on a backpacking trip, and I haven't done much camping as an adult. And I did a lot of camping this summer, and I realized that I do not like camping. I can't sleep while I'm camping. I know it sounds really silly, especially to people who are big campers, but I just get way too worried about what animals are out there, like what I can't see. And so I can't sleep. And it's not because I'm in a tent and I'm on the floor and it's a little bit cold. It's literally because I'm just like scared of what I can't see. And other people don't have that fear, and they're probably fantastic campers. But anyway, I had to tell my friend, like, is there any way we can pick something else we can do together? Because I feel like a week of camping, I would be miserable. I wouldn't get any sleep. I would be miserable company because I'd be edgy. So I love hiking, and I would definitely do something where I can do like day hikes, but then go back into like a cabin or something where I know that I'm protected by the walls. But see, this is the beautiful part about friendships. And if I'm going to be authentic in that friendship, I need to be able to say that part of myself, because a piece of me wanted to be like, no, just suck it up and do it for her. Just support her dream, this bucket list item she has, and just tough it out and do it. And then the other part of me that I had this internal conflict with was like, no, you're going to be miserable. You're going to hate it. It's like, it's my resources as well that I'm putting into this time. And if we do have a solid, real friendship, she'll understand that. And we could find something else that we could both really enjoy. And I mean, there's so many backpacking groups and clubs and people out there that love backpacking that she can probably connect with one of them and do it, because then she'll really enjoy the experience instead of me dampening the experience because of my own fear of wild animals in the night, right? So my point of that story is sometimes in order to help the relationship grow together is that even in really uncomfortable moments, even when you feel like you're letting somebody down, it's still really important that you be true to yourself and you're honest with your friend and you're honest with yourself. And it can be really hard to do. But my friend responded and she said, I understand. Let me think about something else that we could do. And that was really reassuring. And I knew in that moment that, yeah, this is a real friendship, a friendship where she can be her and I can be me. And at the end of the day, we can find something that fits us both and we can both really enjoy and get everything we can out of that situation. And if you're struggling to make friends, one thing I would encourage is to find things that you're interested in and go get involved in them. And I know that can feel really uncomfortable and scary. So you could start small. Like if you're interested in painting, go join a paint class and just tell yourself you're going to stay for 10 minutes. And then if it gets too uncomfortable, you're going to leave. Or find a friend that you already have to go with you. And then you can meet people together. But I think that's a great way to start meeting people is go based off your interests and go do something where other people will be that are engaging in the same interest as you. So let's end today's thoughts with, I hope that you cherish your friendships. And maybe something you can do if you want an action step is think of somebody that you really, really value and send them a text message or an email or a handwritten letter where you just let them know how much they mean to you. And make it a little bit more than you mean a lot to me. So write it out. Tell them what they do that you really appreciate about them and the difference they make in your life. Get specific, get mushy, and try to make that a habit that you do with all those people in your life that you really care about. Maybe it's like a Monday Matters thing, and on every Monday you think about somebody who matters to you and you let them know. With that being said, you guys matter to me. I really appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And as always, you can connect with me on Instagram at Beautifully Changed or through my blog at beautifullychanged.com. You guys have a phenomenal day. Remember, you're in charge of your mindset. You are enough. Stay beautiful. Talk to you later. Bye.